Hey, beautiful creators! Today we will be talking about the 4 laws, the most important 4 laws of the universe that we should all be aware of. Because when it comes to creating or changing our reality, everything depends of those first 4 laws. Maybe you heard before about them, maybe you didn't, but let's go deeper into the first 4 laws. So the first one is everything is alive. There is no such a thing as death. Everything is alive, and we can find a proof of that if we go into quantum physics. If we just take a look into an atom, so we can truly find out that everything in atom is moving. Actually, there is a life energy. And when it comes to matter, material particles, they are matter but at the same time energy, which means that they're appearing and disappearing, and they're really unpredictable. But what scientists found out that as soon as an atom is observed, when we are looking at the atom, particles are showing up. But when we stop looking at them, when we stop observing them, they become back alive energy, which means everything is alive. But when we give or when we consciously observe it, it becomes like a dead, like a physical form, like same as if we would look into a rock and we would say, oh, it definitely can't be alive. But as soon as we stop looking at it, we don't know what it is, we don't know what is happening with it, we can only think about it. We can only perceive it through our thoughts and beliefs and memories from our past experiences, but we can't truly know what it is. But if we would put that rock under the microscope and we would observe it, we could see that inside of it we can find a moving energy, which means everything is alive. And when it comes to us as each individual, we are used to say that we die, and when we die, everything is gone. But actually, when we die, we just transform. And again, it can be explained through near-death experiences. Many people who had near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences, astral projection, many people explained it the way that they just felt a greater love or a so powerful feeling of love that, as they never experienced it before. And what it means then? It means that yes, our idea of ourselves can die. It's ego. Ego can die. Ego will die with our physical body. But still, this consciousness which creates us will stay the same, just that we are adding new knowledge, new experiences to it. So everything is alive, everything is alive, everything is moving, and that's the first law of the universe. If we are able to understand that law, then we can lose a fear of death, because there is no such a thing as death. We can't truly die. Parts of us can disappear. Yes, our ego, we are like pulling off the layers of ego, of ideas. Oh, I can't lose it. But it's all a part of our ego. And more we are growing as conscious creators and conscious observers, less we are attached to anything material, because we gain higher meaning of everything. And if we understand the higher meaning of everything, it means that everything is moving, everything is changing, but we will come to that later. So the second law of the universe is that I am what or who you are, and you are what or who I am, which explains that there is no difference between me and you, or the creator and yourself. Some would call it God, some would call it universe or quantum field or whatever you prefer the most, but there is no difference between the creator and yourself. And yes, some religious people would say that's totally BS idea because God is someone who observes and controls everything. But once again, what is God or what is creator? If everything is alive, if we go back into atoms, if everything is alive, it means that there needs to be a certain web on which all atoms are connected. You know, if all reality, all physical things are created out of atoms, how can everything be so connected? How can nature knows when to grow or when to bloom or when to hide from the weather, or how trees can communicate with each other, and how birds can know when to fly into east or west, and how animals and how everything can be so connected. How when I think about something that I'm thinking about can appear in my life, how it is possible, or when we are thinking about a certain person and at the same moment that person calls us on our phone, how it is possible. The only way to explain it is that on a certain divine matrix, Greg Braden is explaining it through a word, divine matrix. Also, his book is truly powerful, and I would prefer to read it, Divine Matrix by Greg Braden. He's explaining that scientists found out that there actually is a certain web on which all atoms are connected. And it means as soon as we awaken a certain potential in the atom, it means as we are visualizing something in our mind, we awaken a potential in the atom. And as soon as we awaken that potential, it starts communicating with all the possibilities in our future. And more we are repeating it, the power of repetition, more we are repeating that vision, faster it will appear in our lives. And it just explains that God or creator can be certain intelligence, certain force, truly intelligent force behind that connection, behind all those events which connects all of us together. And if I am you and you are me, it just explains that we are all that one consciousness, that we are all somehow connected, but we are experiencing different events, so we can gain different knowledge, different informations, different wisdom. But at one point, still we are all the same. Also, neuroscientists are finding out that we used to thought that some people are more intelligent, some people are better at learning, some people are better at creating, like more creative, some people are better at doing something, things like that. But they found out that those are just ideas. Our brains have infinite potential in infinite ways. And it just means that we can develop different abilities. We can develop a speed reading, we can develop a speed learning, we can develop learning new languages, we can develop like any ability we want. It's a potential, the same as I explained in atoms before, infinite potentials. We can develop it within our brain, within our physical body, which again it means that there is no difference between us. Like we are all the same, we are all the same, and we can all develop anything we pay our attention to it. We can all learn everything, which again explains that we are all the same. I am you and you are me, but the understanding of it is quite complex. So the third law is we could explain it as law of attraction. What you give is what you receive. That's the third law of the universe, which can't be changed. So what you give is what you receive. And we can explain it through, let's say, what kind of thoughts you're thinking. Because as soon as we start thinking, we start giving signals to the universe, to the God, whatever. As soon as we start thinking, we start giving. Then we can apply also actions. What we are doing, what we are truly doing, what we are writing, what we are creating, what we are doing, what is our job, and how we are looking on our job, and things like that. Anything, how we are communicating with people. Because what we are giving is what we are receiving. And if you're not happy with what you're receiving, you need to apply a change in what you are giving first. So what kind of thoughts you're thinking, what kind of actions you're applying, what kind of beliefs you have about how the world works, what kind of beliefs you have about religion, about marriage, or whatever, different concepts or different things that we have learned in our past. It's everything based on that, what we are giving based on what we have learned in our past. And as soon as we change that, what we are giving, if we want to experience life more abundantly, we need to firstly start giving that abundance in thoughts. We need to start thinking as we are already that. And that's, if you know the teachings of Neville Goddard, he was teaching it truly well. Like, think as it already happened, or wishful thinking as it already exists, as you are already. For example, he was helping people which were dealing with cancer and things like that, and he said to them, just imagine the doctor came to you and he started saying, oh, miracle happened, you just suddenly became healthy, it's amazing. And people manifested health. They changed their whole body just because they started visualizing and thinking about it. So what you're giving is what you're receiving. We can say to it law of attraction. And that is also a great law when it comes to manifestation. As we are talking a lot about manifestation on this channel, this law is the main law when it comes to that. But we need to know all those laws if we want truly to create changes. It's much easier to understand many things about life if we understand it. So there, now we can get to the fourth law of the universe. And the fourth law of the universe is that the only constant of life is change. The only constant of life is change. Everything is changing. And many times when we get something, we have a goal of achieving something. And when we achieve it, we want to stay there. And that as soon as we decide to stay there, we get stuck. And our life don't support that. Life don't support to stay stuck. Life don't support to hold on to something. Life don't support to feel safe, get a job and be safe about it. Because everything is changing, and if everything, look outside in the nature is constantly changing. And if everything is changing, also we need to change ourselves constantly. We need to learn new things. We need to grow. We need to be inspired for living. We need to, dig into our abilities and potentials. What else is possible for us? That's how we can constantly follow that change. That's how we can constantly grow. And by doing that, we will start to help others as well. Because there's another thing we will do as soon as we understand that first four laws. is that as soon as we get it, we will feel that urge to help people to understand these laws, because we can end our suffering by understanding these laws. We can create greater experiences. We can heal our planet by understanding this. So the first one was everything is alive, and if we would all understand our planet is alive, nature is alive, animals are, obviously we know they are alive, but they are all part of one, they are all part of us, and we are part of it. And when we understand it, we change our actions on how we are treating everything around us. And as soon as we understand what we are giving is what we are receiving, we would never give something which could harm or create something negative around us. We would never give something negative, let's say negative energy, to something around us, because we know that we will get it back. And that's why those laws are so powerful. And when we understand that you are the same as I am and I am the same as you are, there would be no separation between us anymore. Just think about it, how much we could be even more connected than we are right now. You know, no much separation between us, just one connection, unity. That's love. Love is about unity, love is about wholeness, and that's what we can create if we understand that 4 laws. So when we came to the 4th law, that the only thing that is constant is change, everything is changing, just the first 4 laws stay the same. That's the only 4 things that are not changing in this life, are that 4 laws. And this is it for today. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it can give you a little bit more, or let's say a new perspective on life. So I hope you can gain something new from it, and if yes, share it with others. Share those laws with others and help them to understand it. You know, when we are learning something, as soon as we start talking about it, we start creating new actions in our brain, and we start learning more about it, and we can remember deeper or stronger what we have learned. So start talking about it, start teaching others about it, and you will see that you will feel better and you will experience greater changes, because remember, what you give is what you receive. So this is it for today, my friends. I'm sending you lots of love. I'm sending you my blessings and great energy. Have a beautiful day and see you soon. Namaste. And remember that we are connected. If you feel good, I feel good. And if I'm feeling good right now, I can give you that so you can feel good as well. Sending you love once again.